Hello, and welcome to this demo where we'll learn to use lists in UiPath Studio. Upon completing this demo, you should be able to create lists in Studio, initialize lists, add items to lists, merge two lists to create a consolidated list variable, convert text to title case within a string variable, and print all items in the consolidated list variable using the string.join method. We'll create two list variables to store different city names. Next, we'll merge the two variables to create a consolidated list of strings. Once this is done, we'll format all the city names to the title case type. Lastly, we'll print the merged list to the output panel to check if all operations are executed as expected. All set? Let's get started. We begin by creating a new process called Working with Lists, and add a description. Next, let's search for and add a build collection activity into our main sequence. And rename it. We'll use it to collect our data for the first list of type string. Let's now create two variables that are of the type list of strings. One variable will store the names of cities in the United Kingdom, while the other will store the names of cities in Spain. Let's name the first variable UK Cities, then click Browse for Types. Search for generic.list and select system.collections.generic.list of type string. This type of data, namely list of T, where T represents the type of elements in the lists, provides us with methods to search, sort, and manipulate lists. Now let's click OK. We'll return to our Build Collection activity, click to expand Show Advanced Options, and click the plus button. This will enable us to use the UK Cities variable as the output variable. At the top, in the first item field, let's add London as our first city in the list. In the next items field, let's type Manchester in uppercase letters and click Save. Perfect! Now let's create our second variable for storing the cities of Spain. And set the variable type to system.collections.generic.list of type string. Now, in the default field, let's add Madrid in uppercase letters, Valencia in lowercase, and Barcelona in uppercase as the default initial values. And initialize the list by typing new list of string from the specified cities. Great! Now we want to merge the two lists. We can do this by using a Merge Collections activity. In the first collection field, let's click plus to use the UK Cities list. In the second collection field, let's use the Spain Cities list. Now, let's expand the advanced options, and in the Merged Collection output field, let's create a new variable to store our result. We can right-click and select Create Variable and press Ctrl and K on the keyboard. The latter will create the variable by automatically selecting the needed type. We'll name it All Cities. Perfect! We now have a merged list. To sort this list, normally we'd use the Visual Basic Sort method. However, this is an instance method and doesn't return any values. This means we can't use it in an assign activity. Instead, we'll use the invoke method activity. Let's also rename it. To properly use this activity, it's essential to know what kind of method we're calling, instance or static. We can quickly find this out from the method signature. Static methods have the word static in the signature, while instance methods don't. Knowing this is important as we need to configure the activity in specific ways depending on the type of method we're calling. When we call a static method, we configure the target type and don't fill in the target object property. When we call an instance method, we leave the target type as null and configure the target object. If we check the signature for the sort method, we'll see that it doesn't include the word static. As it's an instance method, we'll set the target object to all cities, the method name to sort, and leave the target type null. Everything looks good. Now we have an ordered list that contains city names from Spain and the United Kingdom. Next, we'll format each item in the list to use a title case. To format the strings correctly, we need to loop through the elements of the All Cities list. Thus, let's use a for each activity. We'll change the name of the item to City and add all cities as our input collection. The type argument property field changed automatically to string. Now let's add an assign activity within the for each so that each item will be processed using a string conversion method, and rename it. Let's click inside the to field and create a new string variable. We'll name it title case temp. In the value field, we'll add an expression that returns the resulting string in the title case. System.globalization.cultureinfo.currentculture.textinfo.toTitleCase, open brackets, city.toLower, and close the brackets. And click OK. Next, each formatted item stored in the title case temp variable needs to be added to our new collection. For this, let's add an append item to collection activity. Next, let's create a new variable inside the collection property. We'll name it all cities title case. And set its type to system.collections.generic.listOfTypeString. We must also initialize our list. We can do this by typing new list of string inside the default value field. Now for the items field, we'll add the title case temp variable and click Save. For the output result field, let's use the all cities title case list variable. Great! Now to display the result, we'll use a simple log message activity and rename it as print cities in title case, and set the log level to info. To print all the items in a single message, we'll use the string.join method. We'll indicate comma and space as the separator, and all cities title case as the input collection. Now let's run the process and see what happens. In the output panel, the output list contains the cities from both lists. They're arranged in alphabetical order and written in the title case. Perfect! The following are some key points about lists we've learned in this demo. The variable type used for lists is system.collections.generic.listOfT, where T defines the type of elements contained within the list. Lists need to be initialized and populated with values. We explored two ways to do this. The first way was to create a list type variable. Then, use a build collection activity to add items to the list and specify the list variable to hold the items. The second way was to create a list type of variable. Then, add the items inside the default value field. Then, initialize the list by typing new list of type from the specified items. To merge lists, we can use the merge collections activity. To sort lists, we can use the invoke method activity and invoke the instance method sort. The string.join method allows us to print a list of strings. What are other scenarios where merging lists together might need formatting for each item? See how you can apply what you've learned in this demo to your automation projects. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy automation!